This is the Momma Fit Podcast. This podcast is dedicated to all those mamas out there that want to fit a workout in a day, or want to fit in a moment of bliss, or hey, you want to fit into those skinny jeans. Dana Dieters is the host of Momma Fit Podcast. She's a mother of two beautiful girls, a wife, and entrepreneur. Her passion became her profession when she had a wake-up call about 15 years ago. With the support of others and a positive attitude, she was able to overcome the hurdles in her life. This mama strives to wake up and conquer each day to make it better than the day before. Her passion for business and education to others is what drives this mama to be the best version of Momma Fit. With Dana's background, she hopes to help you with your business, health and fitness needs, family time in the kitchen, and give you motivation and inspiration to tackle your day. And most importantly, to help you fit in your Momma Fit time.
Welcome back to the Momma Fit Podcast. I am so excited. I'm actually back on today. I'm pretty proud of myself. I keep saying this and then I end up taking a break for a month. So I'm really hoping I can keep up with this. But I'm finally getting some sleep around my house because my kid is finally sleeping in a bed, which means that we bought a full-size bed for her and has that set up as well as her crib in her room. So it's pretty tight fitting, but at least when she wakes up in the middle of the night, we can just go right into her room and sleep with her if we have to. Otherwise, it's been a tough go with 2 years of not sleeping in a bed or sleeping in a bed with her with both of us in the same bed. So it would be like 3 people in the bed and it's just a hot mess. So at least one of us gets some sleep and we just take turns. Let me tell you, that is a struggle, is just getting sleep. I know a lot of people that have kids, they don't have this struggle with their kids for so long like we have. And so never let someone scare you having kids. If you are thinking about having kids and you're scared you're not going to sleep, just don't let that worry you, because our story is completely different than other people's and everyone has their own struggles, but ours was sleeping, and we honestly have not slept for almost 7 years because our first child didn't fall asleep until she was 4.5 years old when my second born was born. And you know how that goes. You don't sleep when you have a brand new baby, you just don't sleep. And so we're still struggling with the sleep thing. So it's been about 7 years of not a lot of sleep. And so today I'm actually going to talk about the essential part of sleeping, why we need it. And it might be obvious, but if you find you are often tired, if you're not dealing with a child, you probably need more sleep. So I want to go over some really quick tips that are going to help us create better sleep, benefits of what is going to help happen with our bodies, our overall health if we get more sleep. So some things that happen to our bodies when we're not getting enough sleep is that diminished alertness. That alertness that we need to have when we are trying to either think fast or just be aware of things around us. If you're driving, that kind of thing, concentration and that psychomotor function, plus the hormonal changes that can lead to increased appetite and weight gain. A lot of people are like, I need some carbs when you haven't, had a good night's sleep. So additionally, there is evidence of immune system impairment. So we might end up getting more sick during those times and maybe end up with some sort of infection, which can be common if we're not getting the sleep that we need. The good news is developing a healthy sleep routine if you can. And it doesn't take that long either. A few weeks at the most, it can result in a long-lasting health benefit. So speaking of people that work out, athletes may notice increased performance due to improved recovery during sleep, because that is huge. Recovery happens while we sleep. People watching their weight may find that their adequate sleep helps them lose weight. Just remember this, that sleep is the foundation of youth, wellness and health, and peak performance, mentally and physically. So there are 3 musts for sleeping better at night. Our nighttime routine does not have to be huge, but there are 3 things that we should all be doing to get better sleep. And this can even be for kids too, because let's be honest, we need to figure something out in our household, and maybe this is going to help us out. You need to set and keep a bedtime. It is best to go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. Fluctuating sleep and wake times can wreak havoc on our body and throw off our sleep quality. The ideal time to sleep is between 10 and 11 p.m. as it promotes more slow wave sleep, which is a deeply restorative stage of sleep. So for athletes, this is especially relevant as it can enhance your recovery. If your schedule isn't the same day to day and setting a consistent time for sleep seems impossible or consistently interrupted, you should at least try to get adequate amount of sleep. So for most adults, that means 6.5 to 8 hours of sleep. Everyone is really different. I feel like I require a little bit more and my husband requires a little bit less, and we can both do the same things. We feel great, but with different amounts of sleep. So it kind of depends on each person as well. They do say increased mortality has been observed in adults getting less than 6.5 hours and more than 8 hours of sleep per night. So again, this is rough, estimate depending on how people do with their sleep schedules. But I do feel like if you get a little less, you are just more harmful to other people around you. What I mean is you are maybe less alert, so you don't have that fight or flight where you just kick in pretty fast as far as maybe driving, if you drive places for your work, or if you have kids in the car, if you're really tired, sometimes you're not as fast with your motions. So that is kind of what I mean. So some things we may need to work on is practicing good sleeping hygiene. So what I mean by sleep hygiene also refers to what we do before bed. So abstaining from tobacco, alcohol, caffeine, strenuous exercise, and stimulating mental activity in the hours leading up to bedtime would be a good idea. So for those who prefer to work out at night or whose schedule only allows for post-workout workouts, moving them to maybe a late afternoon is beneficial when it comes to sleep, or getting up extra early sometimes is the best way to do it if you're having a hard time sleeping. So our bodies are basically regulated by sleep and wake homeostasis and our biological clock. So the biological clock is what causes us to feel periods of sleepiness and wakefulness throughout the day. In the afternoons, sometimes we feel that dip most happens between the 1 and 3 p.m. So working out after the window can help you feel re-energized because most people get that runner's high feeling right after their workout. So that is another idea. If you feel like you kind of get sluggish in the middle of the day, even going for a walk outside is going to be beneficial for you to just get your energy back up. All right, this is one of my hardest ones, and the one that keeps me awake at night, which is super frustrating, is ditch the technology. And I think we've all heard of this before, and we've even noticed it with ourselves that this is the hardest step for us to follow, and even harder than ending a night out early to get sleep at our regular time. However, I feel like if we limit our exposure to technology and keeping it out of the bed with us, it will help us sleep better. So our best case scenario is do our bathroom routine, then read a non-work related material in a low light, especially not in bed. So sometimes if you feel like if you are reading something super mind-blowing, which is great. You want to have your thoughts always going on positive things or learning new things, But sometimes that is also going to keep us up at night because we're constantly thinking. And of course, like I said, maybe don't read in bed, maybe in a chair. Our bed should be just for sleeping in and some other things, if you know what I mean. If nothing else, avoid blue light from your smartphone, tablet, or computer 1 to 2 hours before bed if you're having those feelings of not being able to fall asleep. I feel like even my child sometimes gets into this habit of the smartphone or her tablet, and it's our fault. And it's not her fault. It's our fault for allowing it. And I notice it that she has a harder time falling asleep. So if your kid is like sleeping with a tablet or a phone in their room, get it out of the room because it's not a good idea. Reading a book would be best. And those are the ones that are paperback and hardcover, so not on the phone. It's the best thing to do. Limiting our activities in bed throughout the day can help signal that your brain, when you go to bed, it's time to sleep and not just to relax. All right, so basically the takeaway to having a healthy habit sleep is to allow our brain and body to recharge. It is the most important to get minimum of 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night and to ensure those hours that are restful as possible. Because little things come in and sabotage our sleep once in a while due to stress, caffeine, alcohol, digital devices, we need to try and to enjoy the snooze time as much as possible. It's going to help you reframe your mindset. You're going to feel more alert, and you're also going to feel it throughout your body as well. So if you're wanting some goals set, like losing weight, just having a quick mindset, this is the way to go, and it's the cheapest way to go. Get some sleep. So hopefully you got some good stuff out of this episode, but please come back next week for the next one. I'm hoping to keep this going, like I said, and I enjoy that you take your time with me, and I really want to say thank you for that. So anyway, have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for spending your time with the Momma Fit Podcast. Dana is so happy to share her tips and tricks with you. If you loved this podcast, we'd be so happy if you could share this episode with your friends and family. Also, if you have time, please leave us a review of your honest thoughts and reflections of the podcast on iTunes or our app. We'd be so grateful. If you have any topic or suggestion that you want answered, leave those in the comments below and make sure that you fit in your Momma Fit time.